Welcome to the Strong Back Nation podcast, the show where we talk junk and build empires. I'm your host, Todd Carden. Stay strong, stay hungry, and keep building. Welcome to episode 2 of the Junk Removal podcast, which is still unnamed. Hopefully by now it's named, but we'll see. All right, today we're going to talk about different marketing strategies to get your phone to ring for your junk removal company. So we'll start with the easy ones because this is just a guarantee way to do it that I've noticed that you can do, and that is yard signs. So you just I order my yard signs from UZ Marketing, and I get the double-sided ones, and all it says is like junk removal free estimate phone number. That's all it says. I use CallRail for a tracking number. You could probably use Google Voice or use Google tracking number for that as well if you don't want to pay for CallRail. But the first year I ordered 100 of those. And with the other marketing that I was doing, it was hard to get those signs out. I was getting 5 to 15 signs out at a time, but just kind of kept it consistent. Like once a month, I just put out a few, 5 to 15 signs out. Try to keep them out there. And throughout the whole year, I got collectively like 60 phone calls from those yard signs, and made a huge return. Like I exceeded the cost of the signs, so that I would say that's worthwhile. And so that was last year. So this year, what I did was I ordered, I think 200 signs. No, 175, and I placed close to 100 signs so far, all over the place of where I wanted to service. And so far I'm getting like 1 to 3 calls a day from those signs, which is pretty good for yard signs. So if you want to get 3 to 6 calls a day, I would double that. I would double the placements of those yard signs. Now, given these are placed across 2 counties, so kind of spread out, I could probably saturate a little bit more before it gets like too ridiculous. But so if you want to do 200 yard signs, I would say my prediction is, and if they're in good areas, you could probably double that. So if you place 200 yard signs, which is like what, $700, and you're getting 6 to 9 phone calls a day from that. I mean, do the math. I'll have to sit down and do the math, but that sounds like it would make sense to me. Even if you close like 30% of that, of the phone calls, or 40%, you should be in good shape, especially if your average job size is like $120. I mean, sorry, 220 to 250 or more. You should be in good shape to just doing the yard signs alone. What I'd like to do, I might just crunch some numbers when I get to the home office, and see what kind of results you can get with the budget and with kind of what you're going to get paid. So maybe when I have time before I put this episode out, towards the end, I'll crunch those numbers and confirm if that's kind of if it would make sense to do that. But in my mind, for the cost, how cheap they are, and with what you're getting, it's a no-brainer. So that's just talking quantity numbers, how many signs you're getting out. As far as placing the signs, so what's worked for me is I've tried busy roads, I've tried neighborhoods, I've tried the entrance to the neighborhoods. I've to prevent your signs from getting pulled from competitors, I just stuck them in the middle of the neighborhood, like just random spot, and got calls from that. So I would just diversify and do all of it. Busy roads, neighborhoods, busy intersections, just kind of do it all over, and with where you want to work. You ideally want to place them closest to where you're at, but if you're like me and I'm kind of out, it takes 30 minutes to get to the city, just go kind of to the nice areas by the city closest to you and place them. You don't need to sneak out at night and place them. I just go during the day. If I have an afternoon that I don't have any jobs lined up, I just go out there and get them placed. You want to make sure it's public property, so like I try not to place them like on somebody's yard. So like I usually try to find a spot that has like a median like of grass or something, and but like the road and the sidewalk, if there's a piece of grass, I try to put it there. The neighborhoods, if it's like, you know, there's a house on that corner but there's no like sidewalk and then a little patch of grass to separate it out, I tend to avoid that because I don't want somebody getting upset about me placing the yard sign on their property. So I try to find something that you can place that's just a public generic spot. So those work out for me. Getting consistent phone calls every day from yard signs, that's a no-brainer. Last year, from one job alone, like my biggest job from the yard signs was $1,100 job. It was 2 loads or close to that. So that definitely is worth it. You just never know what kind of jobs you're going to get. And I'm getting calls, and it's February. I'm getting January through February, I've been getting 1 to 3 calls a day with just these yard signs. So imagine when there's no snow on the ground and it's spring and summer, and people are looking to do that, you're going to have a lot more calls going the yard sign route. So that's, anybody can do that. I think anybody can just place those yard signs. So that's one channel of marketing that you can do. I have it plugged into my CallRail. There's a lot of cool things you can do in the back end, like where you can have custom voicemails and stuff like that. And you can route it to whatever number that you want to get the calls from. So I have it routed to my cell phone so that when the calls come in, I just pick up my cell phone and answer it. So the other channel, Google Local Service Ads. That's a guarantee. I know a lot of people complain about how expensive they are, but the way I have it set up is, and this idea was not my own. I go watch Steezy Flips on YouTube. He put out a video on how he optimizes his Google Local Service Ads, but it's basically the exact thing that he explained. So you just set your weekly budget. It's like $500. You probably won't hit that, but it's just kind of has a high cap on it. And then you set a max you're willing to pay, which for me, I just put $50 max that you're willing to pay. And I disabled appliances, donations, electronics, and hazardous waste material. So I don't get any calls from that. Everything else I'll take. And then, so I get quite a bit of, consistent volume from Google Local Service Ads. So that's one way to do it. It's super easy, especially if you have Google My Business set up. I think it's synced to that account somehow. The next thing that I would do that's easy is Facebook ads. So this is, the difficulty level is getting a little bit more, especially if you want to do it right. And this probably would require a video of how you set up the Facebook ads. But honestly, what you can do, just take a picture of you in front of your trailer or your truck, and just in the text, just say, hey, my name is so-and-so, and I am a family-owned junk removal company, and we're, just type up your offer. Like we're looking for anybody who needs help hauling away XYZ. So just type in the text there, and then have when they click on the ad, it goes to Messenger, and you can start there. What I had to do to get a little bit more control over the messages is I have them automated. So like I used ManyChat, and I did not do this on my own. I had to get some help setting that up. But where there's some automated messages that collects their name, phone number, and email. No, not email. Just their name and phone number and what they need help with. And then I call them. So you can go that route. ManyChat is $15 a month. It's not much. Pretty easy. But I'd say Facebook is a good, consistent lead source and low cost. Like the lead cost is way lower than Google. And you get all kinds of people who need stuff removed. And what I've heard from podcasts and videos, that doesn't really work for them. It's worked for me. I like it. It's another source of leads to get calls from. Source number 3, Google. I had to go through quite a bit of a hurdle to get this one set up. This is a big one. So I used Andrew Thompson's, I think he's got a free course out there, maybe a paid one too. But I watched 4 hours step by step of how to get it set up. He shows you how to build your landing page using lead pages and plug in the domain, the landing page, get all that set up. And he shows you how to do conversion tracking and all that. But what I did was, when I got to that point, I just called Google and got a rep, and they did step by step, showed me exactly where to go, where to click. They told me, go to what is that? Google Tag Manager. Go here, click on this, click on that. Go back to Google Ads, click on this and click on that. So just call your Google rep or Google, and a rep will call, set up a time, and they'll be able to plug in your conversion tracking. Google Ads is a huge beast of a marketing account that, it took me weeks, maybe a month to set that one up. But if you have the patience, maybe take your slow season, December through February, and just get that cranked out. That's what I did. So that's the big one. In your Google Ads account, you want to build out your different ad groups. So you have your campaign, which is like your city, and then the ad groups is like the different types of services that you offer, if you want to narrow it down. So like basically different groups of keywords that people type, and you separate it out. So what I have is like junk removal, just kind of like your generic junk removal keywords. And then the other big ones are like hoarder house clean out, junk pickup, junk pricing, junk removal pricing. There's a whole list. I built out a lot of ad groups, but the junk removal one gets the most traction for clicks and conversions. But and that's, again, a whole nother video that you can do. So once you have your ad group set up, the next thing you're going to have to do every day is add negative keywords, because so many keywords pop up that you don't want to pay for. And you want to do all your keywords. I just do it phrase match, which just means you have quotes on either end of the keyword and then you get a little bit more reach that way. And then I just add negative keywords. I've been adding negative keywords for like a month and a half now. I've got 600 negative keywords that I don't want to show up for, and still I get keywords that pop up. You just have to keep doing that, and then your account will just run smoothly as you keep cleaning it up. So far, I get, I've tested. I ran the budget at like $30 to $50 a day, and I've been able to generate. I'll have to look how many the lead count. 30 to 60 leads. I've spent $1,000, so $30 to $50 a lead. I'll have to do the math. I'm not in the truck right now. I'm in the truck right now, but it brings in consistent leads, and you have control, and you're not paying a monthly retainer for the agency. You're just running it yourself, and I like that, because if you're just by yourself trying to start out, you've got to use every penny to put out, and I'd rather have the dollars go towards actual advertising versus just paying for somebody to run it when you could do it yourself. That's just me. I also have an agency, Perfect Click, so I'm running Google Ads and Perfect Click at the same time, because I believe what they run, they're going to run what they're going to run, and I'm going to run what I'm going to run, and we're going to get different customers based on the campaigns that we have set up. I don't know exactly which channels they use. I think they use Google, and I think they use other ones too. I'm not sure. But it doesn't matter, because it doesn't impact what I'm doing, and vice versa. And the lead cost for them is really low. It's like $20 to $30 a lead that I've been getting. And you don't pay a monthly retainer. You just give them the budget, and then you run it. So I think the minimum is $900 a month. I have it set at like $1,200, and you just run that campaign along with your Google Ads, and you get a lot of calls that way. I'm trying to think. Those are the main ones. Those 4: yard signs, Google local service ads, Facebook, and agency. I'll mention just the trickles of minimal calls I get from Yelp, just here and there, and Craigslist here and there, and organic here and there. Okay, so organic's a big one. Everybody talks about SEO. I have a website. I've got all these pages set up. I don't like to rely on that, because it's like you have no control over the calls you're getting. It's like planting corn. Like, you put all these seeds in, water it. You don't know if it's going to grow or not. Like, you don't know. And then you have to wait like 4 months before you even get corn, or before you get calls, or longer. So I have the website. I don't know. I don't like SEO. It's like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. You just don't. This mysterious algorithm. You build these pages, and you backlinks, and you put all these videos, and you link all your socials to your website. And then maybe if you're lucky, you'll get calls organically that way. I know over time it works. It's just annoying. I've done SEO. Like, my internship was like building my dad's woodworking website. This was like 15 years ago. And I built a WordPress website for him. And luckily I got one really good keyword for him called attached shed, and various keywords related to that. And so for 15 years, he's been getting traffic to his site from that one keyword. And then and he's got like 300 subscribers, which I don't know, or something. Like, he's got a good amount of subscribers for not doing anything. It's just sitting there. Anyway, so that's the beauty of, junk removal. You can just build your website, but I just don't rely on that. I don't like SEO like these other guys. A lot of people are obsessed with SEO. I don't care. I need calls now, and I can't rely on something that I have no control over, especially when Willy Wonka is in charge. So that's how I feel about it. So there you go. There's your marketing. I think the next episode I'm going to talk about closing calls, closing sales. So stay tuned for that. That'll be on episode 3. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good one.